Hello everyone, so I just finished watching Love and Monsters on Netflix. This is a brand new original film which clocks in at about an hour and 50 mark. And it stars Jessica Henwick, Dylan O'Brien, Michael Rooker, and a couple more other people. But it's a really fun movie that is set in an apocalyptic Earth where an asteroid was coming to destroy the world. All the governments of the world basically sent up rockets and missiles to destroy this thing, hit it in atmosphere, but all of the chemicals from the rock, the weapons mixing together, rained back down on Earth and basically mutated anything and everything that wasn't human. So there's a ton of animals, insects that all get mutated, and Earth is now basically overrun by ginormous insects and creatures that have just mutated to just terrifying sizes and combinations between one another. And in the first year of this basically bug apocalypse, 95% of the Earth's population has been killed and wiped out, and most of humanity lives underground in bunkers. So it's a really cool concept that I loved when I first started watching this. I thought it was something just really cool in terms of political discussion, the use of weapons, and just kind of all that stuff that can be thought of or conjured up in the mind about the response to the asteroid. Without further ado, let me get into my review for Love and Monsters on Netflix. So the majority of this movie, I just explained the intro, but is Dylan O'Brien's character is in love with Jessica Henwick's character, but they get separated on basically Doomsday, or day one of the bug apocalypse. And a few weeks later, well, this movie takes place 6 years after the events of the Doomsday, and Dylan O'Brien has made radio contact with Jessica Henwick's character, and he basically vows that he's going to make the journey 85 miles on the surface, which no one has ever done before, or survived 7 days on the surface that they've ever heard of, but he's going to do it to basically get back to her and start a new life with her, the life that they never really got the chance to have. So he leaves, he makes a new friend along the way, who is a dog named Boy, who is fantastic and one of the best movie dogs that I can ever think of, because he's just amazing. And he comes across the likes of Michael Rooker and a young girl that he's traveling with to get to safety after their colony was wiped out by these bugs. But yeah, the majority of the movie is just his journey and kind of a coming to age story, coming to responsibility story, because he's really bad at freezing. He's not good in any combat scenarios. He's been the chef in his colony, and he's making a journey that nobody ever thought he should ever be making, because they didn't think he could even last like half an hour on the surface most of the time. But along the way, we do get to see some really good CGI in terms of the creatures and bugs that they put into this. There's some ginormous creatures, and I do want to say, just because I am hugely arachnophobic myself, and a bit of a spoiler when it comes to the monsters in this film, there's no giant spiders, so because of that, I'm going to give this an extra point on top of my score just for that, because I was really nervous that we were going to get that. But yeah, no, there is a lot of really creepy and absolutely terrifying creatures that they're able to throw into this, and I just thought it was really cool how they were able to look so good, be so kind of accurate to how we know them in their little size. But of course now, like, there's some millipedes and stuff like that who can sense vibrations in the ground, but they use that to hunt, and they're just ginormous now, and you'll see like fangs basically like come up and almost like a giant mouth that's about to eat our characters. And it can get pretty gross. This movie too can, it isn't super gory. There is one scene near the beginning of this movie where somebody gets eaten in a very gruesome way, but most of the violence and gore comes from bugs being killed, and you just see like lots of gross little slime or leeches and stuff like that. And there are some pretty cool villains that are thrown into this movie too. And I really like how they just kind of threw these human villains in there, because it was something that I thought was missing for the first little bit of the film, and having them in there was a really good addition, and just kind of tied this whole world together, the whole apocalyptic scenario together. And like I said, it just made for a really good commentary that not all of these ginormous insects are going to be bad, are going to be hunters. And I just really like that element that they had into it. The one reason I liked it too is because Dylan O'Brien's character, he did a fantastic job acting in this. So did Michael Rooker, Jessica Henwick, and pretty much everyone in this film did a really good job in their roles. But especially Dylan O'Brien's character is very relatable, and I really liked how we just got to see him grow throughout the movie and see him cope with all of his anxiety, his stress, his PTSD that he has from this scenario too, where he draws all the creatures that he sees and tries to figure out weaknesses or basically make journal logs. So when the hunters of his colony go out, or even when he has to go out himself, he kind of knows what to look for and how to kill all these insects. And that's his way of being able to fight the fight and kind of reclaim humanity throughout this movie. And too, just the way he's able to rally people together, rally himself, is really, really good. I loved his commentary that he has with Boy in this movie, the dog, and also he meets an artificial intelligence in this movie that I thought was a fantastic scene, just kind of how technology really brings us closer to the world and can bring back some things that we miss in our lives, especially being so isolated as we can be right now, which is how amazing it is to reconnect with people and establish that connection through technology. Where, of course, like there's times in this movie where he feels so connected to the planet for the first time because for 6 years he hasn't felt the rain come down or the wind, little things like that. But this AI just kind of really brings back the ties that we lost with the greater outside world, like out of our own homes, our countries, little things like that. And it was just really good commentary that really made Dylan O'Brien's character super relatable, and you root for him the entire movie. He was just a fantastically written character, and the world around him is so well written too that it just really connects you to him, to the situation, to the isolation of the scenario, and everything like that. And it was just really well paced, really well written, and just all came together in just a fantastic way that I enjoyed every single minute of. This was a really fun and entertaining movie. Like I said, the action in this is awesome. The humor is hilarious. Like pretty much every single joke that they crack in this movie, I was laughing at. Since I think that's really special when movies can really nail upon the humor, and they did a lot in this film, whether it be with the human characters, some of the bugs being funny, Boy the dog being absolutely hilarious in scenes. But yeah, it was just really, really good, and it comes together by the end of this film in a really, really fun way. And yeah, like I said, it's just a super fun movie, and with all this taken together, that is why I'm going to give Love Among Monsters an 8.5 out of 10. This was an absolute badass movie in terms of the creatures, in terms of just bringing, like I said, all of them to life. Dylan O'Brien's character pulling off some amazing action stunts. All the humor was super good, and I do highly recommend this film if you have an hour and 50 minutes to kill. Definitely watch it on Netflix. It is going to be a blast, and like I said, I just want this movie to blow up because it's very, very well done. But of course, if you've seen Love and Monsters on Netflix, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. You can check out all my other movie reviews and everything else I do on this channel through my playlist down below. Of course, if you like what you see on the channel, like, subscribe, turn the little ringer on if you want to know when I upload new videos, and you can check out everything I do on Twitch in my playlists and my description down below in terms of video games. And you can also join the Media Mountain, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, comics, video games, TV, basically everything that's awesome in this world, and just basically help bring a community around together that everything that we love. So of course you can check that out, which is also in my description. But of course, check out this movie on Netflix, and awesome, guys.